Evening.
I'm glad that protocol has been established, but may I pay my respects to my son in the gospel, Pastor Moxey, and his dear wife, and to my dear parishioner Sylvia, the wife of our dear brother Edmund Moxey. This is not really a sad occasion, although it is a very sad loss. Back in history, when the fullness of time had come, God wanted to do something special for our world, for our little island, Rugged Island, and particularly for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so God decided to complete the work in the womb of Aunt Naomi Moxey Lockhart. God chose to bring forth little Edmund Spencer. And God probably took a step back and looked at him and said, "This is good. Very good. I will fill him with a capacity to love others, to serve others, and to enjoy music." And that little baby grew to be a boy with whom I had the privilege to play. Though he was bigger than I was, and he had the pleasure of riding me on his back. That boy grew to be a man who grew to be a child of God. And now, in the fullness of time again, God was once delighted to have that same gift returned to him. And so we are not here to mourn, but to celebrate the life, the ministry, the witness, the talent of Edmund Spencer Moxey. And we do so gladly, as proclaimed in the word of Psalm 116. Knowing that Ed is at rest with his God, we can say, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Today we often think of death to be something to be avoided at all costs. But for the believer in Jesus Christ, death is merely the passing from one form of service to God into another. And so you see, Ed decided to die a long time ago when he made that confession of faith to follow Jesus Christ. From then on, he took Jesus at his word when Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies." I remember well, while I pastored the Church of the Most Holy Trinity in Stapleton Gardens, Ed and Sylvia and their children, even the last Mario, who made fun of the tent. They joined the church from the, as we would say, the tent days. And I remember Ed and I sharing one time, he said, "Father, what you going to do with Mario?" I said, "What happened?" He said, "Mario got into bed and put his hand up under the sheet." He said, "Daddy, what kind of church does this we got?" I'm proud of Mario. Like St. Paul said, activity is one of my beloved sons. And so this evening, while we identify with the family, my family as well, we want to remember the good example which Ed has left for us as a man. If only all the people who only know what a black man is from television and the media could have had the privilege of meeting Edmund Moxey, images would change. If only the people who talk about there being a positive role model in our society can have the privilege of meeting Edmund Moxey, they would have seen they've been looking in the wrong direction and the wrong places. If only the people who think that colored families, black people, and somehow deficient could have met Mr. Edmund Moxey and see what he had done, and to even envision his plan, to see how he raised his family, to see how he loved his church, to see how he loved music, to see how he was concerned about culture, then they would have thought twice. Tonight, we celebrate a man who was active in the life of the church, active in the life of the nation, faithful to Sylvia and his family, and faithful to his God. And so we say to Edmund tonight, farewell. We shall meet again somewhere, knowing that life is a gift with a beginning point called birth and an ending point called death. And so we shall all have to pass this way. During that entire time, there is one choice that we make. And that choice determines a change in one's life forever. Edmund made that choice. The choice about what will we do with a man by the name called Jesus. We shall miss him. Of course, I've missed him long before now. Every Wednesday morning, Ed would find his way to the organ or the piano in Holy Trinity. And that was a day when music was scarce in the church. Nobody came to church on Wednesday morning. But Ed would enliven the service with his musical talent. And so he will be missed by all, not only in the nation, but by his family and by all of us who live to appreciate and to be able to share in the joys that he brought to human beings. So may he rest in peace.